Hey guys, and welcome back to BeardYGO. So today we have got an exciting little deck profile for you guys. It is pretty much Christmas time, and so I would just like to say thank you to each and every one of you for supporting me throughout this year. You know, we've reached quite a couple of milestones and everything, and yeah, so for the 400 subscriber giveaway, I'll be announcing that in the new year, so don't worry, there is going to be some stuff that I'll be giving away. And yeah, so for this video I just wanted to showcase a wonderful little deck that I've been doing quite well with, Naturia's, and I took it to my two different locals this past weekend, and I was able to take both tournaments really nicely. And yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I was pretty happy with the results as well. I didn't feel that any duels except the tier match was actually really difficult. The tier match was basically just, you know, playing through and around what they were doing. Unfortunately, I lost the die roll of that one, but I was still able to come out on top. Didn't even have to go for a game 3, so that was really awesome. So obviously I'm not going to be showcasing a side deck or anything. That's basically format dependent, so you guys can make your own decisions. But let me know if you would like to have a video with regards to what side deck cards are good right now, what side deck cards you should play if you are struggling to build a side deck for yourself at the moment. Right, so without further ado, let's get into the deck profile, and I'll also show you guys a couple of combos that I was able to do for this past weekend. Alright guys, so here we are. We've got our deck profile here, and so let's just get straight onto the main deck. So I'll try and make this as quick as possible so I can get those combos in for you guys. So our Naturia engine, we are playing 3 copies of Mole Cricket, 3 copies of Camellia, and these are the new guys. So what's really amazing about these guys is Mole Cricket is 1 card Nat Beast double monster negate basically. So yeah, if your opponent has more monsters than you do, you can tribute Mole Cricket to summon 2 Naturias from deck. Otherwise you can only summon 1 from deck. And if you summon a Naturia from the extra deck, then Cricket will summon itself back. And if our opponent summons any monster from the extra deck, it'll summon itself back as well, once per turn on both effects obviously. Camellia is really good. When it's summoned, then you get to Foolish any Naturia card. When your opponent summons, you can Reborn any Naturia. And if a Naturia would use its effect to tribute itself and another Naturia, then you can replace that effect once per turn with Camellia by milling 2 cards from the top of your deck. These 2 cards are really, really important to the deck, and I'm so happy Konami actually made them. Right, next Naturia stuff, we've got 1 Sunflower, 1 Stinkbug, so our monster negate, our battle phase negate, and then I'm actually main decking 1 copy of the Bamboo Shoot. So the reason why I'm maining this is because I decided to go for a line that puts this out most of the time on my first turn board. So Sunflower, monster negate, battle phase negate, and if you tribute summon Bamboo Shoot, your opponent can't activate spells or traps, so that's really, really important. Moving on to our Ishizu package, we have got 3 copies of Kalbeck, 3 copies of Agido, 3 copies of Kaldo, and we're also running 3 copies of Eudora. So we're running the full Ishizu package over here. We don't have to cut down on Agido or anything like that. It's not like tier, like we actually want to get these moles and stuff off. We actually don't really care about you know, having our opponent playing, let's say, tier Ishizu using these to mill, because then we get our mills off, and that's where we gain a lot of advantage. I would say that Caldo and Medora are probably the biggest pieces in my combo line. Kalbeck's just extra, and Guido's very nice, especially since you can actually deck your opponent out. Moving on to our Venusaur engine, we are running 3 copies of Venusaur or the Misting Seedlings, 1 copy of the Flourishing Hills, 1 copy of Awakening Forest, 1 copy of the Thawing Mountains, and 1 copy of the Flowering Fields. Right, so I still really like this ratio. I think you guys have seen this ratio in my Earth Machine build as well. So the reason behind these 3 is obviously because this is a searcher for any Ishizu card, or Ishizu monster, and also any Venusaur. The nice thing is that because you are running the Flourishing Hills as well, the Flourishing Hills basically just acts like a 4th copy of the duck. So you pitch this, you do your reborn, you search the duck, you pitch it, and then you get an Ishizu stuff. So that's very nice. You got 4 starters for that. Then you can foolish any Ishizu card with this, or if you need a mole cricket in your grave or something like that at that point, then yeah, you can also do that. But most of the time you'd want to foolish an Ishizu card, especially a Medora or a Caldo, in order to then just disrupt your opponent's plays in the grave. Or you can mill a Guido or Kalbeck to get more mills off if you didn't see any starting plays. That way you'll hit some cards like the Sacred Tree, for example, to then get your combo started. +1 is always very nice, and I really enjoy Flowering Fields, mainly because it allows you to add back stuff like a Medora or a Caldo to get you more searches, or get you into a Gravekeeper's Trap, or even get you your Kalbeck, so you got an interruption against the opponent. Plus, you know, all of these just special summon from the grave, so they're all really, really good. Right, that is it for the Venusaur stuff and also the monsters. Moving on to the spells, we are running 3 copies of Naturia Blessing. 3 copies of Naturia Blessing. I really like this. It's really good. It allows you to summon a Naturia from hand or grave. It doesn't target it, so that's really awesome if you got multiple copies. And then on field, if you've got materials for fusion or synchro, then it will allow you to quick fusion or quick synchro. So yeah, really, really cool. Then we are also running 2 copies of Lightning Storm and 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster, and these are basically just because Fluandries is around. Don't really care about these being in for any other deck. It's literally Flu, like you don't want to get hit with a statue lock, so rather main stuff that can out it. Also, the nice thing is that Flu is very weak if they don't have their back row, so even if they've got their statue, you know, they can't really do anything to really protect it. So you Feather Duster, you basically force them to push out like an Apex Avion, and it's pretty easy to play through 1 negate. So yeah, moving on, especially since you're just going to you know, normal summon, beat over the statue, and then start your plays. Playing through that Apex is nothing. And the last card for our spell lineup is 1 for 1. 1 for 1 is amazing, allows you to get your Mole Cricket, so you got your starting play, as well as pitching an Ishizu card to either mill or even just already have a grave card available. So yeah, really, really cool. 1 for 1 is definitely one of the best cards in the deck. Moving on to our trap lineup, we are running 3 copies of Sacred Tree. Sacred Tree has come up with both of its effects. So its first effect is when it's sent to the grave, then it's mandatory that you search for any Naturia card except Sacred Tree, so you can't search another copy of itself, but that's amazing. It searches any Naturia card in your deck, spells and monsters. And then when it's on the field, you contribute an insect to summon a plant, or you can tribute a plant to summon an insect. I think it has to be an earth insect, an earth plant, and you have to summon a level 4 or lower. That doesn't matter because you got Camellia and you got Cricket. Those are level 4 and level 1, so that really is no hindrance at all. Then rounding off our deck, we're running 1 copy of Gravekeeper's Trap, and we are also running 1 copy of Exchange of the Spirit. Gravekeeper's Trap is amazing. Basically, when it's face up, you get to like call out a card name, and then before the opponent draws for their turn, they have to reveal what they draw. If it's the card you called, then for example, if you call Imperm and they draw exactly Imperm, then the Imperm would go to grave. Funny enough, I was playing against Exorcisters and I called Imperm twice, and both times he drew Imperm. It was hilarious. He couldn't use it, but it was hilarious. So yeah, really cool. Then you can discard any card. So what's amazing is if you've got this and you've got a Sacred Tree in hand, you can discard the Sacred Tree and then search for any Earth Fairy, so any Ishizu or Furnace Elf, and then the Sacred Tree would get you a search for any Naturia. So that's awesome. And then if Exchange of the Spirit's in the grave, then your opponent cannot activate grave effects and they can't summon from the grave. So Gravekeeper's Trap, really amazing, really good against Ishizu, and overall really good card, especially like you know, if you are struggling with a hand, Gravekeeper's Trap can literally help you to unbrick. Exchange of the Spirit is basically just there to be in the grave. However, I have used its on field effect before against my friend. He was playing Labyrinth. I shut his grave down obviously after activating this, but like, you know, swapping his deck. He was running like a 60 card deck, and yeah, then he was sitting on like, you know, your 15 card deck, and the rest of his deck was in the grave, and then I could actually deck him out. So Exchange of the Spirit, really cool card. Sometimes that effect that it's actually meant for is really important, can actually come up, so that's really cool. Right, moving on to our extra deck. So we are running 1 copy of Naturia Beast. We are also running 1 copy of Sword Soul Chinging. So I'm not running Baron. These are my only 2 synchros that I'm running. I don't have Baron, but I'll be getting it with Maze of Memories, so that's going to be awesome. Shout out to my friend Jerome, who's going to, you know, gift it to me, already told me. And yeah, so that's going to be awesome. Then I can run Baron in this deck as well. And yeah, it's really cool. The thing is, you can make these because Camellia is a level 4 tuner, so it's really not difficult to bring out a 5 or a 10. You know, you can make so many different levels. I decided also not to run Bachyon. For me, it just wasn't needed. I'm maining the Bamboo Shoot, so I'll rather go for a Bamboo Shoot play than go for a Bachyon play. Bachyon's also really horrible in terms of if you don't have proper grave, then, you know, you can run out of trap negates, and I don't feel that it's really important to have an extra deck slot for Bachyon. Right, synchro's done. Let's get onto our Exceed. So we're running 1 copy of Baguska. Baguska is amazing, essential to my first turn plays. Yeah, you just summon it in defense and, you know, deck your opponent out. Next, we are running 1 Dweller. Dweller obviously very important against tier, so you can actually make Dweller and then start milling their deck, you know, hit them with resources. So yeah, really cool. Then burn-in time, we gotta have the Cowboy for game. So I actually did this against Lee. Shout out to you, thanks for taking the L. And yeah, Cowboy, really cool. Also, you know, you can at least beat over stuff with it as well. Doesn't come up often, but it does come up. Then another card that I decided to play was Exciter Knight. So Evil Swarm, Exciter Knight. I actually took Bachyon out for this guy, and it's because I came up to a point where I needed to force more stuff out at some point. So, you know, making Exciter, using its effect, detach, getting it negated, call, then attack, and then make Zeus. You know, you've at least got that. Or if they just negate the effect, then you can just use Exciter Knight again in the same turn and basically wipe the board. So Exciter Knight was really, really important, especially on Saturday against Scareclaw. He did not expect this. This is an amazing card, and I'm so happy that I added it in. Then we are running our 1 copy of Dugoris. Dugoris also really, really cool. Allows us to basically turbo the exchange into our grave, so you don't have to wait for a turn. Some hands you do get that. You get the whole setup and everything, and then you sitting with exchange in your hand. It's not really that important, but it's really cool, especially since you can get a draw to, you can pitch the Sacred Tree and get a search, you know, and continue like that. So really, really good. Also, I actually beat a guy, I think I was playing Thunder Dragons, this was a while back, where I summoned Dugoris and yeah, I was able to double a monster's attack. I'll tell you guys which one of those it is in a few. And yeah, OT came with that. It was actually really, really funny. Then we are running 1 copy of Utopia, 1 copy of Utopia Prime, and 1 copy of Zeus. So this is our Zeus package. So we've got a 4 material Zeus. This beats over Bestials, so really, really important. Utopia sometimes is even on your end board so that you don't get attacked, so that's really cool. And Prime, the only reason I really enjoy this guy is so you can beat over 2 5s. I actually beat over Exorcist Michaelis, which is a 2-5 with 2-5-10, and that was really satisfying, you know, dealing that 10 damage. So yeah, that's my little Zeus package. Moving on to the last 5 cards, you got our links. So I'm running 1 Linkuriboh because Mole Cricket doesn't really come up that often, but it's always good to have. Then I'm running 1 Anima, and Anima is the monster that OTK'd the Thunder Dragon player with Dugoris. So I stole Chaos Dragon Levianeer, and then I attacked into his... No, sorry, he had no monsters. I attacked his life by doubling Anima from 3000 to then 6000, and he only had 6000 life, so that was really, really awesome. Then I'm running 1 copy of Donna, Dagger for Hire. This is actually a really, really good card. Basically what this does is attributes itself and then destroys an opponent's monster. Plus it's an earth, so you can always revive it back. It's like a Pancratops basically for the board, or like a Cerberus for example for the board, that you can constantly use. It doesn't have to be used when it's link summoned, so that's really, really cool. Then we're running 1 copy of Osa. Osa is really good, especially against other earth decks, against Tier for example as well, if they're playing the Ishizus. And then our final card is 1 Nightmare Unicorn. So I actually was able to beat Dinos. Lee, again, shout out to you, bro. Where he had 2-5 life left, and I made Osa. I stole his Giant Rex, he was playing Dinos, and then I used the Osa and his Giant Rex to make Unicorn, got rid of his monster, and then I normal summoned a Cricket and attacked him for 2-5 with Linkuriboh and Unicorn. So that was really, really cool. Right, so that was the deck profile. Let's move on to some combo lines. Okay, so combo number 1 card combo. We've got Mole Cricket. So we'll normal summon the Mole Cricket, we'll tribute it in order to special summon 1 Camellia from the deck. Camellia will then Foolish a Sacred Tree, and Sacred Tree will get us a search for Blessing. At this point we can activate the Blessing, and we can summon back our Mole Cricket, and then we can synchro Mole Cricket and Camellia into our Naturia Beast, which will trigger the Mole Cricket engrave to summon itself, and that will be the end of our turn. When it gets to our opponent's turn, we can use the Cricket when our opponent would special summon a monster. So then you'll tribute the cricket and you'll special summon a Camellia. And as soon as the opponent's monster is summoned, then Camellia will trigger both of its effects, because Camellia was then summoned as well. So you can then have a Chain Link 1 to reborn any Naturia from your grave, and it doesn't target, so that's awesome. And Chain Link 2 can dump you a Sunflower. So Chain Link 2 resolves, summon, dump Sunflower, and then Chain Link 1 summons our Sunflower. And so here we've got infinite spell negate, and we've also got double monster negate, plus you know, you could get the potential of milling you know, your Ishizu stuff and everything. So this is a really, really strong play. So let's move on to combo number 2. Okay, so another little combo. This is a much more simple combo. Obviously, if you got these two in your hand and you want to lock them out of activating spells and traps, which is really important, especially for like back row decks, you can activate the blessing to special summon your cricket from your hand. Use the cricket to then also special summon the Camellia, and then Camellia will dump you a Sacred Tree. Sacred Tree will then go and search a Bamboo Shoot, where you can then tribute summon the Bamboo Shoot by tributing the Camellia, and that's how you end on Bamboo Shoot first turn. Okay, so combo number 3 is Medora plus any other Earth Fairy and a Sacred Tree. So you'll summon Medora by pitching the Earth Fairy, and you will get yourself a Gravekeeper's Trap. At this point you can use Gravekeeper's Trap to then discard the Sacred Tree, and the Sacred Tree can then get you a search for your cricket. And obviously your Gravekeeper's Trap will get you a search for, let's say, a Kalbeck at this point. So at least you know you've got one interruption through Kalbeck. Now you can normal summon your cricket, and you can do your entire little Naturia beast play. Plus having Kalbeck and advantage over their grave, as well as hand knowledge of their first draw as well. So let's check out a test hand, and yeah, then I'll be signing off, guys. Okay, so I have power shuffled and everything, so yeah, let's have a look at our first test hand. So we have got Exchange of the Spirit, Sacred Tree, Camellia, BeardYGO, and Burnosoul of the Misting Seedlings. Right, so this is actually pretty amazing. Right, so we'll start off by activating Misting Seedlings by pitching the Camellia, and we will summon the Camellia, and we will search for a Medora. Right, so I'm not going to be using the effect of a BeardYGO to mill, so yeah, in case we're playing against tier, for example. Camellia's effect will then activate and will dump us a Naturia Sacred Tree. At this point, we can have the Sacred Tree get us a Bamboo Shoot. Okay, so now we will activate Medora's effect, summoning itself, pitching the BeardYGO, and getting our Gravekeeper's Trap. So we got that there. Now we can use the Gravekeeper's Trap, and we can pitch the Sacred Tree to then get us a search for any Earth Fairy. So let's get a search for Kalbeck. So we've at least got that. Then we can tribute summon the Camellia. Oh, and yeah, sorry. The sacred tree has to search. Lol. Yeah. Sacred tree will search as the blessing because it's mandatory. So don't forget about it. You have to activate it. So then after tribute summoning the bamboo shoot, we can then activate the blessing, summoning back our Camellia, and then we can overlay Camellia and Mudora for Baguska, which will change our bamboo shoot to defense. However, Baguska does not stop our bamboo shoot, it only stops activated effects, and bamboo shoot's a continuous effect. So at this point you can literally just pause your turn, and when the opponent's turn comes, you can activate your Gravekeeper's Trap, look at their hand, basically the card they draw, and then in the main phase use the Gravekeeper's Trap to then pitch the Exchange of the Spirit, locking down their grave as well, which will give you an advantage of no monsters, no spells and traps, and no graveyard. And that's basically the combo line that I keep trying to go towards. So yeah, I just want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you for checking out this profile. If you enjoyed this profile, please give me a like and subscribe if you're not subscribed. It would mean the world to me to get to 500 subscribers. So yeah, guys, that is it from me. I wish you all a wonderful festive season, and I hope to see you all in the new year. Anyway, that's me signing out. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.